If you're an educator, you're probably one of the most compassionate and caring people out there. But what do you do when you get burnt out? Ed family, today we're going to talk about having a plan to take care of yourself well when you don't feel good. Some people call this self-care. Now, I have to admit, I haven't always been the best at this. When you go on airplanes, you hear in the event of cabin pressure loss, adults need to put on a mask first and then place it on the children. But when it comes to teaching, we can't help but put our students first. As a result, I regularly push myself too hard, probably say yes to too many things, and press play when I should press pause. But if you're an educator, you can probably relate to what I'm saying. Here's an example. During the pandemic of 2020, teachers moved from in-person teaching to stay at home. There was so much change and transitioning happening all at once. With minimal resources and support, we pivoted and continued to teach children, though much of mainstream media continued to talk about how schools were closed and how much learning loss was happening. Schools were not closed and educators were still doing the work of helping kids to learn. And as for myself, at the beginning, I didn't even take breaks that were given to me because I felt guilty I wasn't helping enough. A teacher friend shared with me that we shouldn't just go through this pandemic, we should grow through it. So one of the lessons that emerged for me and many educators I have the privilege of working with was the idea of self-care. You know, asking ourselves if we're okay and asking each other if they're okay. Ideally, this self-care plan should be in place before you even need it. Self-care can be physical, mental, social, relational, whatever's going to fill that bucket of yours. And when should you seek it? Certainly when you're feeling upset or frustrated, tired or sad. These are all indicators that you need self-care. But ideally, you should have a habit of taking very good care of yourself. And so what's your plan to take care of yourself? You may want to ask yourself or other educators you feel comfortable with these questions. How did you feel when you were teaching through the pandemic of 2020? What is one thing you did for yourself or self-care that helped you to be more resilient? Once again, this can be physical or mental, spiritual, social, relational, and maybe you might even want some items for each of those categories. And what is your plan to care for yourself well this upcoming 2021 to 2022 when you're not feeling well? One act of self-care I enjoy is going on a ride with my mountain bike. I see the beautiful world we live in, breathing that fresh air. I just love it. It slows me down, refreshes me. How about you? What is your self-care plan? With our students coming back, rather than reopening, this year it will be more of a care opening. I have no doubt our students will receive a lot of compassion from us. But I think though, I do need to remind you, however, to take care of yourself well. Why? Because you are important and worth it, and you impact so many lives. Got self-care? I hope so. And if not, make a plan to care for yourself well. If you found this video helpful with your next step, please do hit that like and subscribe. I'm glad to be on this journey with you because we're all in this together. This is Dr. Jeff at EdFamily signing out.